Hi guys, since you have loved the pixie haircut video that I did that is still seeing so many views, I decided to show you how I'm growing out my pixie now. I am not gonna cut it anymore. I'm actually gonna let it grow out, and I'm seeing as it's growing out that it's looking a bit like a shag. So I can actually wear it as a shag with the hair facing down like this, and I really love this kind of look, but we need to make it more shaggy. So I'm gonna put on a cape. So you're gonna need a cape, you're gonna need a comb, you're also gonna need a pair of scissors and a razor. You don't have to use a razor. Use it only if you are comfortable using a razor. If you're uncomfortable using a razor or if it scares you, I prefer that you don't. Although if you are up for experimenting, by all means just do it, because it's really fun to use a razor. So I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and I've just allowed my hair to grow out a little bit. It feels like a bowl right now. It feels very mushroomy. So I'm just gonna brush everything forward. So make sure that all of your hair is brushed forward. When you're doing a shag, the hair needs to move forward. It needs to have this kind of like wave, and it needs to contour your cheekbone and kind of have a curve here. So the way that you cut your hair is the way that it's going to sit. So keep in mind that you're gonna be having to curve. This is why I love the razor, because you can actually curve into the hair and create that kind of shaggy feel. So the first thing I'm gonna do is brush the hair forward, and we're going to section off the sides diagonally, because all of this is going to have cool waves. I really don't know how this is gonna turn out, but I do have a vision in my mind. I do it on clients, like I'm a hair cutting specialist. So I am going to do what I know how to do. It's always gonna be different when you do it on yourself. This is not meant to be a professional video. So just please keep that in mind. I'm brushing all of this up. If you want to clip those back, you can. You can just tuck them behind your ears. My hairline is actually quite interesting. It kind of does this, like, I don't know if is this receding? I don't think so. I think I've always had a hairline like that. I'm gonna try and get in the middle here. And I'm gonna take a very thin section, and I'm gonna follow the natural hairline. You wanna follow your natural hairline as well. You don't wanna do, you can curve and play with the hairline, but you know, I just feel like, you know, just if you follow your natural hairline, it's always gonna be better, and you're gonna have a more natural feel and flow to the hair. Everyone's hair sits differently, it grows differently. So if your hair grows forward, this is a great haircut for you. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna keep these little pieces away because we'll get to those later. Sometimes you might find that one side is thinner than the other. You might have more hair on one side than the other. Actually, hold on, maybe I just sectioned off a bit too much here. Yeah, I do have a bit more hair here than here. This is normal. Everyone's hair is different. I'm gonna go in with my scissors. So take the fine tooth part of your comb, and you're going to section off the middle. This is the part of the hair that sits right on top of your nose. So it's symmetrical. We'll get to the sides in a second. Try to get it as accurate as possible. I don't have a mirror here, and just using the camera, so I'm just praying that it works. Some of you guys have thicker hair than others. Just do the best that you can. And you're gonna turn to the side, and you're going to establish the length of what you want. So I'm gonna do this, and then you want to look straight and drop it. So this is where I want it to sit. This is where I want the shag to sit. The way I cut it is not straight across, it's angular. If you cut it like this, it's going to build weight and it's going to sit heavy. So it's good if you have fine hair. That's actually very good if you have fine hair. If you want more texture and you want it more of a lighter feel, you want to cut it diagonally the other side. So diagonally this way, not this way. If you do it this way, you're gonna have a layered bang. So just, this is a very thin piece to establish the length. So I can do it both ways. I wanna do it this way because as I bring down the top sections, as it sits on top, I want it to be layered. I don't want it to be heavy. If this piece is going to be cut this way and it's gonna sit heavy, This is great if you, I guess, don't have a lot of hair and you just want it to feel heavier and it feels like you have a lot of hair. So it creates the illusion of a lot of hair. The more hair that you're going to bring forward, it's just gonna sit heavier and heavier and heavier. So I don't wanna do that. I don't want heavy bangs, I want wispy bangs. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna take this piece again. And I'm going to use a fine tooth comb. And I'm gonna pinch the hair with index and middle finger and go straight out across. Tilt your head to your hand the angle that you want. So I'm gonna do this way for me because I want wispy bangs. Put the comb down and I'm going to cut straight. See, so it's like angle. The more angular you go, the softer it's going to be. So you can get really, really detailed here and you can make it like super angular or super textured. I can always go back in later and texturize, which is what I'll do at the very, very end. I'm gonna go in with my scissors and just go around. Just be careful around your eyes. Please, please be careful. I'm gonna take the second little piece here that's next to this one. I'm gonna take a little piece of what I just cut. This is what we call the guide. And I'm gonna bring it forward to the center. I'm not cutting it like this because, I mean, I could, but I actually want to build weight. I'm bringing everything to the center. And then I'm gonna do, hold the hair the same way I held the center piece. And notice I am doing this dry because when you cut your bangs, you should always do it dry, always, always, because they do shrink. So there it is. And when I pull it forward to the center, this is gonna come out longer. Whenever I cut bangs, so if I want the bangs to fall this way, I move it this way. If I want the bangs this way, then I pull it all the way this way across, and then it falls layered, wispy, so it contours the face. So I'm gonna take the second piece here. I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm gonna turn to this side now. I just hope that I'm actually doing this properly. And then I'm gonna keep the angle. Remember the angle this way, not this way, because I wanna keep it wispy and light. And pace yourself, you know, just be gentle with yourself. Don't rush this, please don't rush this. So now I really like the length. I'm gonna go in and clean this up later. This part should be cut separately, but I'm just gonna establish the length. If I pull it forward, I probably don't have a whole lot of length. I'm just gonna cut off these little wisps. Oh, where is it? There it is. Okay. Because I have fine hair, I want blunt ends. I don't want like too much texture because then it looks really frizzy. I'm gonna take this piece. If I take it to the center, there's really not much there. It's like barely any hairs, but it does make a huge difference though. So these pieces, I'm actually gonna just shape them right now. This one here, I want it to curve. So what I'm gonna do, if you're brave, I'm sure you are, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna slide cut. And when you slide cut, you wanna open and close very, very, very slowly. So take your time. And I'm gonna start right here. I'm gonna open and close. There we go. And then push it. And that's just I'm just establishing the length. This isn't the actual shape. This part here, I want it to curve a little bit more. So this is where you get really, really detailed and you can get really creative. You can grab your razor and start cutting, but I'm just gonna slide cut because I feel like it's gonna give me a more accurate feel. And I'm just gonna go right in, and that gives me a kind of like a V, like little V's in the hair. And I'm gonna take this piece off. So with the shag, you do want little wisps, but it has to be very controlled. And it's gotta be, well, you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta have a vision in the end. So it's not exactly, this is not purely accurate. But that's okay, I don't have a lot of hair. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. So you're not doing it this way, you wanna come around this way. And if you're unsure about the length, keep it long. I like to go around just the eyebrow. If you have longer pieces around the face, then you might want to start your layers at your cheekbone, because then it would contour your cheek. If you have wavy hair that bounces or curly hair that bounces, definitely keep it longer. My hair is very fine, it just kind of falls flat with a very, very light wave. And I'm gonna go right here, and I do want it short, so open and close. I took off all of this. I don't need that. And because it does feel a bit heavy here, I'm gonna take this piece, just like I did on the other side, and I'm gonna do the same thing. When I work on clients, I do use the razor a lot at the very end, just to refine. So now I wanna check that both sides are even. This one is heavier. I also wonder with the razor, I just don't want it to create frizz for me. And the scissors really establish a nice length and a guide. You can always go in with the scissors and really start chopping away as soon as I have the shape that I want. Okay, so let's move on to the next section. So I got this whole section here. I'm gonna, how do I want this to sit? I want it to sit like this. And the way I wanna part it eventually is kind of like in the middle to the side. I wanna be able to move it around. So I would just follow my natural hairline, which is kind of little heart-shaped. So follow yours. If yours is round, you want to follow the round of the head of your hairline. You might take more on one side than the other, so just be very precise. Sections are very, very important. Okay, I'm gonna clip this away. I'm so excited about getting all these like little frizzies away because they're so annoying. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do exactly the same thing. I'm taking the top section in with the bottom section that I just cut, and we're cutting all of that. So I do want these pieces actually to be a bit more angled. I want this to be very angled. If I cut it like this, it's still gonna create a lot of weight, which I can texturize later, which means that you can go in and start cutting into the hair. Why do that when I can just take off all of the length now? If you're unsure, do what you're comfortable with. So I'm gonna go like super angled here. And that still goes in with the rest of the line. Instead of doing this, I did this. So all the details matter. So now you see this piece is sitting, actually not even that short. Like it looks like I cut out a lot, but I didn't. So I'm gonna do the same thing. You take the second, the left hand or the right side, merge it with the middle part, push it into the middle, keep your hand like this, your fingers up, cut. If I was doing this on a client, I would be doing a lot of point cutting by now, which means that we cut into the hair so that we create more texture, but where I'm doing it on myself, I'm being careful because I don't know if I'm doing it properly. And, oh, this is like not to the center. Okay, I need this to be right at the center, right on top of the nose. And, oh, where is it? Yeah. Okay, there you go. It's not perfect, but it's close. And now these pieces I really want to play with. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna twist them. And how you cut the hair is how it's going to sit. So I'm gonna twist it and cut into it just like I did with the other pieces. And that way it gives me kind of like a wave. Doing the same thing on this side. So I'm twisting it away from the face. You don't want to, you can twist it forward, but maybe you can, if you alternate it, that would be really cute. If you have like curly hair, but I wouldn't take the risk. I just keep it safe, keep it away from the face. It's gonna like do its own thing. Just want to push it. I want to see how it's sitting. Oh, these are annoying. I think I just cut my eyebrow. Okay, so now it's starting to fall, but not enough texture. I'm gonna take off this section, clip this away. We do the same thing. Down the middle. And angle. Oh yeah, there's a lot of hair here. So when this falls, I'm gonna go like this. And I'm cutting straight across. Oh, that feels so much lighter. And grab the middle part, grab them all together, and now you can see your guide, which is, or like the new hair, and what we call the guide. I'm gonna actually point cut this, which is like basically going in with the scissors in a pointed fashion. So it's not exactly like a super clean line. Do the other side, same thing. And how far up you angle the hair is really important. Are you taking it up like this? Are you bringing it down like this? Are you going all the way up? Like, these all really matter. So the angle is very important. I'm just gonna like randomly chop into it. I just realized I'm gonna be able to grow out the top of my hair with this, but see, now I've got like a shorter kind of shaggy look. Oh, this is looking cute. Okay, so my parting is like super strong here. Okay, so now you see the sides are, well, not very nice. So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start cutting into it. So twist the pieces that feel heavy. I want you to go into your hair and look at the pieces that are heavy. There's a heavy piece here. I'm gonna take, you know, this is a really heavy piece that just kind of falls and does nothing. If you have a fine area, be careful not to cut too much. So I'm twisting it. And then I'm just gonna cut off just the ends, just like open and close. If I move this way, you can see all of these little doo-doo-doos. I'm gonna get rid of these guys. So now my bangs are much shorter and much nicer. The sides are still very heavy, so I'm gonna go diagonal. Remember, I'm not sectioning straight down. You wanna section diagonally because that's how the hair grows. And that's how you want your shag. You wanna be able to push it forward and take a random piece. Oh yeah, this one feels really heavy. So I'm gonna twist it. I don't need my comb. Twist it. This is where you can come in with your razor if you have a lot of hair and you're feeling like experimenting. And I'm just gonna cut open and close, softly, softly, softly. These scissors are pretty sharp. So if your scissors are not very sharp, they might cause a lot of frizz. So that took out a lot of weight there. And take a little bit more. I have to take that whole section actually and just cut into it. So when we do point cutting, we just kind of like take off any weight. Literally just like cutting into the hair like this. So you create like little V's in the hair, little chunks of space like that. Whenever your hair feels heavy, this is what you want to do. And see how that sits, like it's just texturized. Woo! And that just kind of gives, oh, that looks good. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same thing on this side actually. So a lot of what I do when I cut is like I just watch and see how the hair sits. Everyone's hair is so different and every cut is customizable and it has to be customized. A lot of hairdressers who I respect so much and I wish I could do what they do is they go by the textbook, you know, they follow the rules and they cut so precise. It's kind of fascinating. And I'm not a precise hair cutter. I'm more of like it's intuitive, like freehand hair cutter. So this is, you can see this is all weight. This is why it feels so heavy, is because this is so heavy right here. Even though I have fine hair, you can still have a lot of weight with fine hair. So I'm gonna do the same thing. Make sure you comb out your hair and you wanna use the fine tooth comb. I don't wanna use the wide tooth. Fine tooth, try to get it as straight as you can. Take your scissors and I'm gonna do about 3 in here, like 3 V-ish kind of cuts. Let's get that enough. How many were there? 1, 2, and like 3 here. Maybe cut this guy off. Okay, there you go. That's it. It's got to be like even, and now you let it go. That feels much better. Do remember that I'm only doing the front, so the back is probably going to feel a bit disconnected. but that's okay. That's where you have to go to your hairdresser and they'll do it for you. But this is kind of like a quick at-home trim. Oh, it looks so much better. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make sure that I like the length. I kept it a little bit longer on purpose. Always leave your bangs a little bit longer. I'm gonna take this front section and I'm gonna clean it up because this is the part that you see first. If this sits well, then you are golden. And brush it down. I'm gonna take my wide tooth section now. And I don't know if, should I do this? Okay, so this is what I would normally do. Slide my scissors from under, slide the comb a couple times. So comb the hair like this. And now I'm gonna cut into it. 1, 2, 3. And how deep you go into the hair is like how much texture you have. So you can go quite deep into the hair and then comb it. Do that again. So there is a heavier piece here, so I'm gonna cut into that. You're cutting into the hair. It's so subtle, but it literally makes all the difference. And then I'm just gonna cut the ends, like these little pieces. Not pieces, what do they call them? Little stragglies need to go. I'm gonna do a couple more. Whew. There. And this is how we get wispy bangs. I think most hairdressers are probably gonna hate me when they see this video because no one wants to give away our secrets. I don't care. You're still gonna come see me for a good haircut though. Slide, pull out, slide, comb until you get it completely clean. And now you cut into the hair. So you can see where the heaviness is here. Whoops, I think I cut off too much there. Shake it, comb it. There you go. Woo, that looks good. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. So you see how heavy this is? This is too much. And cut into it. Ooh. This is really long and heavy. Oh my God, I feel so slow right now. And I'm just brushing it out. Make sure you brush it out so you know where you cut. Okay. And I'm just like quickly doing the ends. And now I want to check if they're both similar size. Now, with a cut like this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. So a little bit of like, not messy, but yeah, like an inaccuracy is actually quite nice. I don't mind it. I think it's part of the look. But you also want it to be clean. You don't want to feel like you could have just had it better, because I'm obsessed with that. Like if like one piece is off, it drives me crazy. So now I want to shake it out. So this is definitely shorter. So now we're blending everything together. This is the part. That's looking cute. Oh, it's a little short actually. I think I went too short. Yeah, it's looking cute. So now all I have to do is just kind of like clean up these hairs in between. So open and close lightly. Open and close. And here, open and close. And that's to blend all of the layers together. Bring it all forward. And look at how clean that is. That's like a very good line. I'm gonna bring it forward like this. I'm not gonna cut into it anymore because I think that's enough. So now, I can wear it forward and I can push it forward. So if your hair grows forward, I want you to take your hands and push your hair like this, bring out the wave, and then you want to pinch it. You can put some texture spray in, which I'll do right now. Got Redken Wax Blast. and then you want to piece it. Okay, I'm actually gonna do my sideburns real quick. So one sideburn is actually longer than the other and heavier. So see how heavy this one is? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing that I did on the other side, the same technique, and take the hair and just kind of quickly cut into it. Just to kind of take out some of that weight. I still wanna be able to tuck it back. No one wants long sideburns. Oh, well, you can actually have really nice long sideburns. I want to tuck them back. I don't want them to the front, but if you want your shag to have hair coming towards the front, then you'll cut it towards the front like this. You kind of slide cut it or use your razor for that. Baby's back. I wish I had worn a little bit more makeup today. This was a very spontaneous trim. If you don't like the back and you do want to create more of a shag, you want to get a razor, the guarded razor, I'll link it below, and you want to get a sharp one, and you can do it dry, but put in a detangler if you're going to do it dry because you need to protect the hair. And then you can just kind of go into the hair like this, and that cuts texture into the hair, and then you kind of just like flick your wrist. It'll give you that shaggy feel, and you can even do that on the sides too, depending how much hair you have, and that will cut into the hair. And then comb it out as you go. Keep combing, because if you take out a lot of hair, you might not be able to see it, and then you keep going over the same area. So you have to comb it out, make sure that the hair is actually gone. This is the finished look. You can really play with it and see what sits well for you. And so this is giving me that kind of shaggy mullet. I think the back with this growing out is giving me a bit of that kind of mullety look, which is so cool right now. If you look at Miley Cyrus's new look, it's very similar. I'm just not as blonde as she is, but it is just all moving forward, and you want to push all of the hair forward like this. And notice how I'm doing the top. You take your fingers, open up your fingers, and you pinch. When you pinch the hair, especially if there's like a little bit of product in the hair, the right product, a good texture spray, you can push it up and add more volume. You can use dry shampoo. You can use a little pomade if you want it to be a bit more piecey. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Mwah, bye.